All right, welcome. This is another video testimonial for Three Kings Wealth Management. We have Maria Liaris here. Hey, Maria, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks for joining us today. So Maria is
Yes.
Maria and Michael. Michael's out there doing his thing at the moment, so he's not on here today. But these guys are parents of some long-term clients of mine, Georgian and Charlotte. They were referred through, and they're clients of a sort of the retirement stage that I don't necessarily look after a lot, but their situation fitted our model pretty well anyway. And we've kicked off to a pretty cool relationship, haven't we, Maria?
We certainly have.
I love working with,
Easy.
yeah, yeah, and Izzy. You get a shout out, bro. I love working with these guys. I don't like working with retirees and stuff very often, but Maria and Michael make an absolute pleasure. So
Because we're so young at heart.
that's right, and
Yes.
it doesn't seem like that at all. So, first question I got from Maria, like I said, we're just going to go through 9 questions, run off what you want to say. First of all, when and how did you first discover our business and myself?
Georgian and Charlotte, when we were talking to them that we wanted to sort of try and get on top of all of our finances and find somebody,
Yep.
they referred us to you without hesitation.
No, thank goodness. I'd hope out of anyone, they're the ones that refers me because
So that's why we came to you. Yeah.
And I will say that when you guys did come, we looked at the situation, and I did actually we talked about this. I did actually consider referring you guys to another advisor that was more retirement space that suited you guys. But a lot of the time, the skill set of an advisor can be taught, but we just had a rapport and a relationship that would have been very hard to match and replace. So that's really the ultimate reason why we ended up keeping you on as a client.
I'm glad you did.
And it's been a great experience so far.
Yes.
So tell us about the problems you were having that made you come see us before you saw us. What sort of triggered that?
Just basically that we were getting to a stage where we were thinking of slowing down, and we just wanted to make sure that the decisions we were going to be making would sort of help us for our future and keep us financially secure. And we hadn't really done anything like that before, other than just have a little bit of a few insurance policies and talking to our accountant. So we just needed to get some advice from somebody and to trust that person as well.
Yeah, I think it's important to note too, like many of our clients, like you guys, to be honest with the listeners out there, you guys were doing great. You got, like I said to you at the start, what you guys were doing, you've done so well for yourselves. You had holiday properties, you had a big commercial property, you had business, you had everything. You've done so well for yourself, better than most people will ever dream of sort of through their life. But there was just things that it wasn't efficient, was it? Like
No.
you were making money and had wealth there, but it still wasn't providing you the perfect life you guys wanted. And I think that's really important for people to understand that, you guys have a great accountant through Francine that you've been using for a long time, and she does a job well, but there was things that she just wasn't looking at that
No.
we did, and sort of brought that in. And I think that's really important, because I think a lot of people in their life, Maria, which is a good lesson, it was a lesson for me as well, looking at how well you guys had done for yourself before seeing us, they think that would be enough. If we got to that position, we'd be fine. And what we discovered was, on paper it looked great, but in reality it still wasn't providing you the happiness and the life that you wanted, and that's what we dived into to try and fix.
Well, the thing is, we knew how to work hard, but we didn't really know how to put everything into place to secure our future. And
Yeah,
we expect that we want to live a good long life, and we want to travel when that finally is possible. And we were just concerned that we would just be going round and round and not really looking at setting ourselves up for our future properly.
Yeah, I think without disclosing, obviously we've got confidentiality, without disclosing too much, I think it's important people understand that you guys have done all the right things that people tell you to do. You bought property, you had all the right things, but the only thing that we underlined when we started speaking was the efficiency. Your assets weren't generating the efficient income that you wanted. We were still doing we had to still do a lot of work for it every year. And I think that's a really key thing for people to understand, because you guys did everything that on paper, was correct, that people tell you to do, but it still just wasn't the perfect outcome for you that you wanted, that you could have achieved, which we are on track to do now. So I think that's important. How was that problem impacting your life before seeing us?
Well, it wasn't so much that it was a problem, but there was a bit of insecurity as to knowing where we were going,
Yeah.
you know, and coming close to retirement, it was just there. We had the property, we had the house, but you know, what path were we on? We weren't really sure.
Yeah.
And it's empowering to know what you're doing.
Yeah, I think from my end, seeing what you guys are at, there wasn't really a problem. You guys could have kept doing what you're doing for some time, but there was this underlying stress. Like,
Definitely.
everyone watching Maria loves to buy things, loves to buy nice things.
Yes, Maria.
Michael likes to buy cars.
Known as well enough now that in fact, who's been buying the most or who has spent?
Michael likes cars and boats and those
Right.
things. Maria likes nice things, right? And
Yes.
the problem was that I saw was you guys were in retirement, supposed to be enjoying this time, but you were still stressed about you'd buy something and not sure if you could afford it or not sure if it was the right thing. And oftentimes you could, but you didn't know. You know, there was that underlying question on should we or shouldn't we have done that?
Well, we were cautious.
That's right.
So I think you've helped us to put practices in place that now we know that this is to go there and that's to go there. So it's actually a little bit more secure, and I feel far more confident.
And Maria's got the green light on the new Mercedes this year.
That's right. As long as I get my Merc at the end of it all, I'm happy.
We'll sell you ours. We'll sell you ours. After Gemma goes back to work, I'll sell you our one. 3 months. Okay, so what drew you to us the most? Out of everyone out there that could help you with your situation, what drew you to us? Obviously, you got referred to us from George and Ashar, but what was the thing that actually, you know, got you in with us?
Well, when we came to meet you the first time, because we're not very computer literate, so we loved all the pretty coloured textures and the whiteboard. So you're really good at doing that, making us understand. And you speak in a way that we can understand, you know. And I've heard before a lot of financial advisors, you don't really understand. We've got a good rapport. We're at a basic level, at an intelligent level, but we understand and we don't hesitate to contact you. You always get back to us. You're always helping us. And so there's a confidence there, and we like you.
Yeah.
You know, we like what you say. And if we don't, we'll tell you. It's not that whatever you've got to say is always right.
Yeah.
It's just that we're very comfortable in talking to you and we trust you.
And you guys are really good at that discussion point, which I love with my clients. You know, I don't want to be telling, I want to be talking, you know, and when we chat, that's what I've loved from the start. And so people understand, like we started engaging in conversations probably 6 to 12 months before you guys actually became clients, you know, because there was a lot of stuff that we had to work through. And when Maria says pretty pictures, what I used to do is I used to print off or get, what are they, like A3 cardboard papers, and I used to draw strategies on that and used to carry a whiteboard in the car to their house.
Well, I appreciated that.
No, I love it too. It's good. But, you know, that was sort of, we wanted to really make sure you guys were comfortable and understood. And like I said, there was no rush on your part because you guys were fine. You know, you guys were fine as it was. And we wanted to make sure it was understood and simple. And I think that was a key thing in where our relationship is now. You know, you guys are sort of don't hesitate to ask questions, but you also really trust our guidance and that kind of stuff, which I appreciate. What has your experience been like up to this point, Maria?
It's been quite positive. You've helped me set up various accounts. I know what I'm doing. I know where the money's going, and I know if I want to go and buy something small, not the Merc. I have a Michael and Maria account, and so that's what we use. And you know what? That's actually quite a nice place to be in because I know I'm not spending money I shouldn't be, so I don't feel guilty.
Yeah,
it's there, and I'm allowed to use it freely. Not that anything was stopping me before. It's our money.
Yeah.
But, you know, we've got to make it last, and we've still got lots of bills and loans and things like that to deal with. So this is a positive way for me, and I like that.
Yeah, that was key.
Organised.
That was key for us at the start. I said to you guys over and over again, you know, I think so for people that Michael's very business orientated. Michael is a very business head, and he's done so well in helping getting you guys to where you were. And Michael's initial start was always, what return can we get? What return can we get? You know, we put this money, how can we make more money? And I had to really come through and speak to Michael and say, we don't need to make any more money. That's the thing. Like, we're at the point we want to enjoy it now, right? So when we looked at all that stuff, part of the breakdown of what we tried to do for you guys was stop you thinking about all that stuff you no longer need to think about, and just focus on your day-to-day operations and enjoying the money and actually getting some enjoyment in retirement. And I think that was key. I think that was key, because most people you go see and most professional advisors or investments are always trying to make more money. But there's a point where, like, we're at a point now where we don't need to make much more money. You know what I mean? Like, we need to enjoy it. And that was our focus, is how do we get you to enjoy it?
But you've helped us set it up in a way that we're going to be able to do that
That's right.
confidently.
That's
So
right.
we know, moving forward, which is a lovely catchphrase that everyone likes to use, we know that we're going to be secure.
Yeah.
And we can have a good time, and we can help our family, as you know. Yeah.
That's right. And it was
part of what we do. Our culture is.
100%. And it was all about, like we talk about, people see someone and they try and give them the cookie cutter. But I think one of the things that really got you guys across at the time, or really solidified our relationship, was when I sort of said to you guys, what do you want to do? What's important to you? Don't worry about the super fund. Don't worry about the money, making money. What do you want to do with it? And we built the strategy off the back of that, and we're reaping rewards off that now. How has your situation improved since working with us?
Oh, I'm calmer in that I know what's happening.
Yeah.
I actually understand what's happening. Not always. We've had a few little hiccups, but generally
COVID.
Yeah. But no, generally I'm pleased. I know more about our finances, and I know where the money's going, and I feel secure.
Yeah.
I actually do feel quite secure, in knowing that we're going to be fine, and we're also going to have a good time while we're doing it.
Beautiful. You'll be secure in the very safe cars.
Yes. That's my dream. That's all I want. That and holidays.
What have you enjoyed the most?
What have I enjoyed the most?
Not the technology.
I don't like the technology, you know that. I know that if I have a question, that it's an email away or a phone call away. Izzy's very good at your offsider helping out and getting back to me. Hi, Izzy.
Hello.
So I've enjoyed that contact, and it's a bit personal.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more personal, and you're not sitting in this tall building at the top of a company that nobody can actually reach out to.
Yeah.
I like that personal contact.
I was when we started, wasn't I? I was in a company.
Yeah, well, you were in a big tall tower.
I was still contactable.
Yes, you were.
Much to their disgust.
Yes.
What would you say to others that have, so we've got a lot of people who follow us, and some of Georgian and Shah's friends, we've got some people in our network that have been following us for a long time, and they're always waiting for a certain point, if I get to here, I'll see Ryan, or I'll wait. What would you, and I want to ask you this because you guys are probably the biggest example of, I always said to you, imagine if I'd seen you 5 years ago, 10 years ago, And
I know.
What would you say to those people that are hanging off, waiting for a certain point?
Don't wait. Just go talk to somebody. If you don't like them straight away, go somewhere else. Find someone that you trust and have a word with them. And that's where it all starts, just from a conversation.
And it doesn't cost anything.
Long. But you wouldn't have been around anyway.
Yeah, I started 5 years ago. So
if it weren't for Georgian and Charlotte, we wouldn't have found you.
Yeah.
So what I can say is, if anybody's watching and listening, I wouldn't hesitate to recommend them to come and see you.
Good. Thank God. We'd be in trouble if you recommended someone else on this, wouldn't it? Okay, so that brings to the last question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely would you be to refer our services to someone?
Oh, 10, without a doubt.
15, surely.
Or 11. 11.
When we get 2 Izzies on, we'll get another Izzy on.
Okay. No, I wouldn't hesitate. I don't know what people are looking for. I don't know what they expect. But if they're asking me, is there anyone that we know? Well, we'd certainly recommend you guys.
Yeah, I think that's important too. I say on all of these that, if it's not me, like, there's a million good advisors out there, a million. And the difference, like, every advisor can learn the same skills, right? It's about who you trust and who you have a relationship is the most important, because that's who's going to get you the results long term. You know, the person you can deal with and you feel comfortable with. So that's a really good point, Marie. If it's not me, go and find someone. Go and ask your friends about who they see, and try a few people. Have a look around, speak to a few, and
Yeah.
if I fall into that category, stoked. Otherwise,
Look, like in anything, people feel a little bit more comfortable by word of mouth. You know, blinds, if you want to buy blinds for your house, by word of mouth. If you're dealing with a tradesman, by word of mouth. So why not for a financial advisor?
yeah, that's right. Well, Maria, thank you so much for this. I appreciate it. I'll post this up, and not that you'll watch it, but everyone else will. I'll send you a copy. Thank you so much for coming on.
A pleasure. Thank you.